Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites. I wanted to show you how this beautiful Unbound planner comes boxed to you. It is really just a beautiful thing to come to your door, or if you're giving it as a gift. So this is exactly how it comes, wrapped up, and it has this cute little brown paper sticker on here, and I love the color of the tissue paper. This planner is called the Unbound planner. And under the tissue paper, you have more of those squigglies, is what I call them. I don't know the real name, paper squigglies, that keep it safe and padded under there. So it was very well padded, and it was also wrapped in plastic. I just wanted to show you how it was boxed. I'm going to become familiar with this, do some pen tests in it, and I will be back and we will talk all about this Unbound beauty. This planner is called the Unbound planner. And it is really a beautiful, well thought out planner. I feel like it's one of those little gems in the planner world because I had never heard of them until recently. It's a company that's run by a husband and wife team, Annie and Brant, and it comes with this little card in it. They really take pride and care in their products. Just in the little bit of time that I have learned about their products and gotten to know Annie through emails, that definitely shines through. Let's get into this beautiful book. First of all, they have some special limited edition colors, and those are $45. Then they have the classic version. They are both the exact same insides, but the classic version only comes in a charcoal and an indigo, I believe. So it's kind of like a navy bluish and a charcoal grayish. And that is their just classic version, not special limited edition color covers. And those are $40. This is one of their limited edition color covers. It's a beautiful hunter green. And I feel like that it's not going to show through how beautiful it is on the screen. It's really a beautiful hunter green. It is a coated material, so it's beautiful yet durable. It's got that material, but it's coated. The first thing that stood out to me is just how beautiful the book looked and felt in my hands. It has rounded corners, which I am a big fan of. Rounded corners on your pages also. I love that detail. It comes with 2 grosgrain ribbons. Grosgrain ribbons are my favorite in planners. And it comes with 2 that complement the color of the cover that you get. And it's really nice to have 2 ribbon markers in a planner like this so you can mark your month and your week and you're not having to do a lot of flipping. So we're going to get into this beautiful book and I will tell you all about the specs on it. It's very portable. It looks very professional if you need to use it in that type of setting. And I think it's also great for guys just as much as gals. It's one of those planners that works for both. And they do have some really beautiful limited edition colored covers if you wanted to pick those up before they run out. This is their 2019 dated planner. They do also offer an undated version, and they also offer a PDF version for only $15. You can get the full PDF of this planner for $15. You can also choose how you print it. You can print up to just like one-sided and do like an 8.5 by 11. So make it bigger, and you can then choose to bind it however you wish. So that is a really amazing option that they offer that not a lot of companies do. Or let's say you just want to try it out before you spend the money. It's not even that you want to bind it yourself. You get the entire PDF to try out in any way that you wish for $15. All right, your end pages are just this really nice gray. It's a thicker paper. You have your nameplate page right here to put your information in. You have your, year at a glance here, but you not only get the year of 2019, which this planner covers, you get 2020, 2021, and 2022. If you are looking ahead at dates or vacation dates or big things and you want to highlight some of those dates and map some things out that way, you have a really far look ahead here. This planner does offer a goal section, a goal component to it, and habit tracking, which is really nice. It's like everything you need in this one little bound book. So They take you through some self-reflection to try to decide, what goals you might want to focus on. So these are 2 self-reflection pages. They ask you some questions, and they ask you some questions specifically about these areas, which your goals would probably lie in: physical health, mental health, family, friends, career, finances, passions, and then they leave room for you to add in 2 categories there also. Then they're giving you some pages to do a goal brainstorm. I really like how they take you through it step by step. They're giving you a lot of information here to guide you and some examples. Because sometimes I feel like if you haven't walked through something like this, examples are really helpful. And those are in the light gray print. I like how they've done that. They've also done some other things throughout the book I'll show you in the light gray print instead of the black. And it's just kind of nice. It makes for easier reading. I just like their choice on that. So then you have some goal brainstorm pages here, which are dot grid. You have a couple of those. And then something else before I forget, I want to point out that every page of this planner is numbered. I am a huge fan of that in these type of bound books. I just feel like if you want to remember something you wrote on that page, and there are notes pages at the end, so you can go ahead and make an index in the notes pages and then easily, write down that you took notes on whatever meeting or whatever important information, doctor phone call, whatever. You can make a note on your notes pages in the back, making an index, and note that that's on page 131. I think having numbered pages in a book like this is really helpful. And if you don't use them, then that's fine. But if you do use them, it's such a good feature. Then once you've had those goal brainstorming pages and they've taken you through the 4 steps of that, and they've given you examples, then you have a goal timeline now that you have your list of goals for the year. And what goals are going to be repeating monthly, what are going to be repeating weekly, and what are actually daily habits. They're not actually those huge goals that take a lot of steps to reach. They're just daily habits that you want to monitor and track. And then they give you this space, which is really interesting, and I haven't seen something to be used exactly like this in another planner, and I like it. For goals that don't make sense here, repeating monthly, repeating weekly, or daily habits, then you're gonna write down the goal that you have, and you're gonna mark off the months that you plan to work on it in. It's okay if those months change, but this is just kind of like charting out your year. And also that way you can see you're not working on too many goals in the same month. It's really easy to see it in this type of charted way. Then you have a future goals and dreams to kind of think way into the future, next year, 5 years, and someday. Then you have your year at a glance, which can of course be used for your goal planning, or it can just be used for the typical way of anniversaries, birthdays. It can be used for big bills. It can be used for anything, of course, that you want to use your year at a glance for. This was just to remind me how many of these pages we have. So then you have a project plan goal breakdown page. This is done in 2 different ways, and you actually have 6 2-page spreads of this. These same 2 pages are repeated 6 times, or you can think of it as 12 pages. So these are just templates to help you plan your bigger goals and projects as they come up throughout the year. So they can be goals, they can be projects. This just helps you integrate, specific and measurable subtasks that you can come up with to help you reach the end of that project or those goals. So you have a title, a start, a finish, and then you have all these kind of boxes to check and tick off on those different action items within that goal or project. This one is just kind of different. So maybe whichever one works with your brain better, you can utilize, or for a different type of goal or project, one of these pages might be better. So you get 6 of each of these pages, and they come in this 2-page layout. So for another project or goal, a title, a start and finish, key milestones that you need to reach, when do you want it completed by, and just your notes and next steps. So you have these 2 options to work on your projects and goals, and you have 12 total of those, 6 of each. Then you go straight into your monthly layout. Your monthly layout is just really clean and aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. You have your holidays noted in a light gray, just very small at the top of the date right there. You have your next month's view very small at the bottom of the page right there on the left-hand side. I like that they give you that next month view, but that you do not waste a lot of space on it. It's small, and that's really all you need. They have used really the margins of the page well. They haven't left huge margins here, so you're really using most of the page real estate, and I appreciate that. You have a this month's focus, then you have this month's goals / things to do. And they have a reminder here written in gray for you every month. Review yearly goals, add repeating and other goals for this month. So that is done in light gray right there for you, and it's something for you to check off every month. And I feel like that's a good reminder, because a lot of times we won't remember to do those tasks, to go back and review our yearly goals every month, to add those repeating goals to weekly and habit tracking and other reminders that you need for the month. So that is their little reminder in there for you to carry through what you worked on in the beginning and carry it through every month. Then you have a little list here for gifts and occasions. I think that's a great thing to throw in, because that is a reminder, and then you can scribble those down. If it's just one long list, I might not remember to add those in every month, but it's nice to see that. You have a monthly reflection. You have some lines for just any notes you have down here. So this is your monthly overview every month, along with your monthly layout. Your monthly layout starts on a Sunday start, typical, and your week starts on a Monday, typical start for planners. So that's how most people like it in the US. Then you have your days going into your next months, and your previous months are not numbered, but they are grayed out so that your mind just kind of focuses on the days of that exact month. Okay, then you go every single week, you have a weekly overview 2-page spread, and then you go into your weekly layout. So every single week you have this 2-page spread before your week. It is, of course, dated as to what that week is. Then it says this week's priorities. You have 3 tick boxes there. Your morning routine right here. Weekly goals, and they have this written every week for you. Add repeating weekly goals, review monthly goals, do something for others, and do something for yourself. So those are your little reminders that you get pre-printed in there every week. Then you have things to do, and I like how they have divided your things to do. Easy tasks and then bigger tasks. And I like that, because as you look at your week, it is really nice to see. And I honestly have never thought of making my weekly list this way. So this is kind of a light bulb moment for me. It's kind of nice to see my tasks divided out into easy and bigger right there, just to see what you need to conquer that week. And on certain days when you know, okay, I have this amount of time, what task can I conquer in that? It's nice to see it divided out that way. Then you have a habit tracker, and I wrote in the number 8 there to remind myself you have enough lines for 8 habits to track, which a lot of times maybe you may not be tracking 8 habits. I don't, but that's okay. It gives you enough lines for those people who want to track that many. And if you only have 4, that is great. You have your Monday through Saturday, Sunday check off or color in circles there. Then you have a huge open space every week. It's space that you can break down your goals, your projects. You can use it for journaling. You could use it for gratitude. You could use it for weekly reflection. You could use it for additional to-do lists, or just additional notes that come up in meetings throughout the week, or phone calls, or planning a project for work, or me planning a YouTube video. So any additional notes that you need for that week. Then you go into your weekly layout. I'm going to talk about the pen test first, and then we'll look at the weekly layout on a page where I haven't written everything. I tried all my normal pens. My paper held up wonderfully. It is 70-pound bright white paper, which equates to 100 GSM. First of all, the paper feels really nice. It is smooth but not slick. It is a smooth paper which takes the pen well. It's not slick. It doesn't have tooth. For those that do not like a lot of tooth in your paper, this paper is perfect for you. It does not have tooth to it, which just means it doesn't have texture. And here is how the pen test shows up on the next page. Look at that. Amazing. You can barely even see that there is pen written on that side of the paper at all. They talked about how they found one of the best 70-pound papers they could find. And this planner is 100% crafted in the USA. All right, so the pen test, they did great. It is 6 by 8.5, and then it is 0.9 in thickness. So it's a 6 by 8.5 book. So it's like a bound book, like a a typical novel size, I feel like, of a hardbound novel might be. It's a little bit smaller than your 7x9 planner, and you don't have that coil to contend with, so it's just a really portable book. It has 280 pages total. You also have a mid-year reflection in here in the middle of the year, and then you do have an end of the year reflection also, and I will show you that. And their main goals with this planner are for you to be able to focus on goals you care about, track everything in one place, and create healthy habits. So let's look at the weekly layout. So after every week, you go into your next weekly overview. And of course, it's always dated right there for you. Here is their weekly layout. You have a look at the month as a whole right here, at the month at a glance, and you have the week you are on kind of shaded in a light gray. I feel like that's very helpful. And yet I'm really glad they didn't take up a huge space for that, because some planners do. And I personally don't want a huge space for that, but I do like to have it there to glance at. And I do really appreciate when the week that you're on is highlighted in some way. So I'm a fan of that. There is a quote on every single week. You have a weekly reflection box here to fill out at the end of the week of maybe just generally how you're doing on your goals or your habits, or how you're just feeling mental, health-wise. You could also use that for just a little bit of journaling. You have a don't forget box every week. So something that you need to stick there that you do not want to forget. Notes, just general notes. You have a gratitude box for every day that actually is big enough to scribble a good gratitude in there. Then you have just your daily list plans, which if you're a timed person, you could definitely write times here on just one column and kind of follow that all the way across, list your hours. If you're not, then you don't have any timed hours in there to encumber you. You have a top 3 up here, which can be used in, of course, many different ways. For me, it would be just my top 3 items that I need to get done that day. And then your dates are written in gray right here, and your days of the week are written in black. I like how some of the things are written in gray. I've already talked about that. So there's not so much black screaming out at you on the page, and it just seems less harsh on the eyes. There is a close-up of your pages in your week. Your monthly layouts are your typical Sunday start, and your weekly layouts are a Monday start. Here's something to note. Your little month at a glance calendar, though, because it is with your week that starts on a Monday, this one does start on a Monday. So that is something to note, but your big monthly layout spread starts on a Sunday. Okay, so you have every single week dated and your weekly overview in between, and that's how it goes through the entire planner. At the end of June, you have a mid-year reflection to look back as you're halfway through the year. So they ask you some questions, they give you some guidance to kind of refocus your goals. You might even want to make new goals. There might be goals you drop off. It's definitely helpful to do this throughout the year, because just because we set those goals in January does not mean we have to keep those goals for the entire year. Things change, our lives change, and as we work on things, we kind of decide which direction we need to keep heading in. So you have a 2-page mid-year reflection here to kind of reassess those goals and habits. Then at the very end, you have an end of the year reflection, which is also a 2-page spread right here to kind of help you get set up for your next year. Your takeaways from this year. What did you do and accomplish? What things didn't work? Then you have 15 pages of notes back here. So you have some lined, and then you have some dot grid. But it's a good enough amount of note pages that you can definitely make like 1 page of an index, like I said, if you want to have an index to know what pages you wrote things on. And then you have the same end pages to match your front right here. And this is really a beautiful planner. I would love to hear your thoughts on this planner. If you have used Unbound before, I would love to hear what you loved about it and how you liked it. It's a very beautiful, well-crafted planner. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Happy planning, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.